Tonight on Cronkite News, new details coming from the deal to keep TikTok in the United States, how one U.S. company might affect the app's algorithm.
Tens of thousands came to State Farm Stadium mourning the assassination of Charlie Kirk, including President Trump and Vice President J.D. Vance. What they had to say about Kirk's legacy coming up. And the Mercury lose to the Minnesota Lynx after a second-half push. What comes next for the team fighting for a spot in the finals?
Good evening and welcome to Cronkite News. I'm Max Williams.
And I'm Macy Markham. Thank you for joining us.
Turning Point USA says it will continue college tours beginning this Wednesday. This comes after a memorial for conservative activist Charlie Kirk was attended by thousands here in Glendale.
That's right, and reporter Charlie Vicario was actually at the memorial and spoke with Kirk's supporters. Before the ceremony even started, we watched thousands fill the stadium. Crowds gathered singing gospel music. I talked to a few. Not only did they say Charlie Kirk impacted them politically, but also in their faith.
You just see how one man's obedience to the calling that God had on his life truly impacted so many people, and that doesn't even hit the surface.
It's such a reminder just to follow God and be bold.
He's taught me just like how to be a better Christian and how to like bring myself closer to God.
The memorial service for Kirk drew people from across the country and journalists from around the world. All heard a consistent message from the stage, a message of faith.
On the cross, our Savior said,
including Erica Kirk, who said her faith led her to this decision.
Father, forgive them, for they not know what they do. That young man, I forgive him.
Religion and politics were central throughout the event, from our nation's top leaders.
The evil murderer who took Charlie from us expected us to have a funeral today, and instead, my friends, we have had a revival in celebration of Charlie Kirk and of his Lord Jesus Christ.
President Donald Trump ended the ceremony walking on the stage to fireworks and Lee Greenwood's Proud to be an American, familiar to his political rallies.
And so on that terrible day, September 10th, 2025, our greatest evangelist for American liberty became immortal. He's a martyr now for American freedom.
He left the stage embracing Erica Kirk as the stadium roared with applause. In Glendale, Charlie Vicario, Cronkite News.
State Farm Stadium can reach a max capacity of 73,000 people, and yesterday's event saw overflow into Desert Diamond Arena.
Beyond the people in the seats, the media stream of the memorial reached millions more. It's the type of audience Kirk welcomed, and actually more than half of U.S. adults get their news from social media. Cronkite News reporter Kennedy Humble tells us how Charlie Kirk used this large social media audience to build social relationships and interactions with viewers.
When looking at the impact Charlie Kirk had, he used multiple social media platforms, including TikTok, X, and Instagram, to attract attention to his posts, including even the people who disagreed with his viewpoints. TikTok was the most popular way for Kirk to connect his content and business, Turning Point, gathering a current following of 9.6 million users and over 290 million likes. He posted multiple clips of his podcast and debates on college campuses with individuals who wanted to speak on trending issues. Some experts say that Kirk's viewership felt a connection to him not only because of his views, but because of social media algorithms.
He was really good at looking and following what was trending, what was gaining traction.
Aside from how the algorithms may have or helped or hindered Charlie Kirk in his dissemination of his views, I think that where we really see the power of algorithms is in disseminating the sort of vitriol and hate between what's perceived to be the progressive left and the conservative right, or the MAGA right.
Turning Point USA is continuing to post on social media platforms and has planned to hold college debates in the future. In the newsroom, Kennedy Humble, Cronkite News.
Turning now to other news, James McCain, the son of the late Senator John McCain, has just been appointed to the Arizona Board of Regents. Governor Katie Hobbs announced his appointment today. The board oversees the public university system in our state, including ASU, U of A, and NAU. McCain actually graduated from ASU and also served for 18 years in the U.S. military, where he was deployed to Iraq and Afghanistan. He is the youngest son of the late Senator McCain and his wife, Cindy.
And a senior White House official says TikTok's algorithm will be controlled by a U.S. company once its sale is complete. A new deal will transfer control of TikTok's U.S. operations from the Chinese owner ByteDance to a new joint venture between the company Oracle and the private equity firm Silver Lake. Part of the terms of the deal require ByteDance to give a copy of the algorithm to new U.S. company, which will then control it for U.S. users. Coming up next, President Trump's H-1B visa fee shocks technology and finance companies.
That's right, the announcement of the $100,000 fee causing panic among visa holders.
How the White House is responding to criticism from companies and their employees, coming up next on Cronkite News.
Dry air is coming up into Arizona, and it's going to bring those temperatures up with it, so make sure you stay tuned for that 8-day forecast.
You meet so many new people who are on different communities, and when you do that, you're able to network not only, but also get to engage, talk to people, and make life friends.
I think that definitely surprised me, the community that I would find, because I wasn't really expecting it.
Freedom.
Friendly. Nice. I'd say cozy.
This is where Cronkite can be creative.
ABC is bringing back Jimmy Kimmel's Late Night Show. The network suspended the comedian last week after backlash over his comments on the assassination of conservative activist Charlie Kirk. Local TV affiliates Nexstar and Sinclair pulled Kimmel's program. President Trump celebrated the suspension. ABC says the show will return tomorrow night.
Turning now to consumer news, new car models traditionally hit the sales rooms this time of year. While tariffs have shaken up the auto industry, experts say consumers may not feel the impacts just yet. CNN reporter Jen Sullivan explains what's driving the market.
From car parts to car sales, President Donald Trump's tariffs have shaken up the auto industry this year. But does that mean buyers are paying more?
As far as the consumers are concerned, not much.
Joseph Yoon with Edmund says prices for the 2026 models haven't accelerated like many auto experts expected.
Automakers have chosen to basically absorb the costs on their end. I think going into the next year, we're likely to see some pricing changes happen.
Most newly imported cars are subject to a 15 to 25% tariff. The Trump administration is hoping the added tax will push many automakers to open plants in the U.S. and create more jobs back home. And while many automakers are absorbing tariff costs, buyers are still experiencing sticker shock as automakers continue to recover from the impacts of the pandemic, according to Yoon.
Used car prices are still very high.
Data from Kelley Blue Book shows the average transaction price for a new car last month was just over $49,000. That's roughly $10,500 higher than 5 years ago. But those high prices haven't put the brakes on sales. If you are in the market for a new car, Yoon suggests waiting until the end of the year when dealers begin slashing the prices on older inventory. Do your research. The longer a car sits on the lot, the more negotiating power you have. And the more inventory they have, the better deal you'll get. For Consumer Watch, I'm Jen Sullivan.
And while tariffs haven't sent 2026 car prices soaring just yet, experts say the market has affected the price of used cars and auto parts.
And pumpkin lovers like myself, listen up. Your favorite time of year is finally here. Today is the fall equinox, which is typically when day and night are equal. This happens in the fall and the spring in many places around the U.S. Those leaves will start to fall soon. All of us in Metro Phoenix, however, will miss the changing of colors. Northern parts like Arizona and Flagstaff, though, will still get those autumn leaves. Well, fall may officially be here, but we still have to deal with those high temperatures for a little bit longer.
That's right. Kayla McDonald joins us now from the Cronkite Weather Center with our forecast.
Yes, it's the first day of fall, but our temperatures are not going to decrease as fast as we would like them to. So let's start with our evening planner, where we have 95 degrees starting around 6 to 7 o'clock hour, where the sun is still shining nice and bright. And as it sets, it's going to take our temperatures with it until we're getting into those early morning lows. We're up north, Window Rock, 38 degrees. That's about 6 degrees from freezing. That's pretty cold. 46 at the Grand Canyon, 45 in Flagstaff. And then the southern part of the state isn't going to be as nice as up north, where we got 80s for most of the southern part of the state, where we got 80 degrees at Quartzsite, 82 degrees in Phoenix. And then as we get into those high temperatures, we're back into the hundreds for the southern and western part of the state. Up north, it's still nice with 76 degrees at the Grand Canyon, 74 degrees in Flagstaff, 104 degrees in Phoenix, 105 degrees in Gila Bend. Why did it get so hot all of a sudden? It's because dry air is coming into the state. So we have the enhanced water vapor image that's showing where our moisture is all at. Yellow and blue indicates dry air, and that's getting pumped right up into Arizona. We have some leftover moisture right here, all of this white, and that's what's giving us a little bit of those storm chances for tomorrow. But as the dry air comes in, we're going to heat up. Low pressure is coming in later in the week, which is what's going to give our storm chances. They're going to come right back to us. So as this low pressure encroaches on Arizona around Friday afternoon, it's going to uplift some storms. So for that 8-day forecast, we're looking at 104 degrees for tomorrow with that 35% chance with that leftover moisture. As the dry air comes in, 107 and 106 for those highs on Wednesday, Thursday. And then we're going to get those storm chances again on Friday. From the Cronkite Weather Center, I'm Kayla McDonald.
Thanks so much, Kayla. Coming up next, the Arizona Diamondbacks take 2 of 3 games against the Phillies.
Yeah, that's right. The team sits just 1 game behind getting a spot in the wild card playoff.
I feel like the guys in that locker room are playing with a lot of confidence and know we can match up against anyone.
What's next for the team as they prepare for their series against the Dodgers? Coming up next on Cronkite News.
I grew up in a small border town, and water was really important to us. Without enough water, we can't farm, we can't eat, we can't live. And the way we're doing it right now, straight up doesn't have a future. I went to ASU because this is a place where you solve problems. With vertical farming, we can grow the same amount of food with 95% less water than traditional farming. The work I'm doing at ASU is changing the way I look at the world.
3, 2, 1.
Coming up on the cut.
Coming up on the cut. Coming up on the cut.
How students can build their broadcast journalism portfolio with opportunities to learn more about on-air reporting and studio production.
Be
Be sure to follow us on Instagram at @thecut_network and on X at @CutASU.
The scientists and engineers that support the next mission to Mars could be in this class.
Getting a degree at ASU is a journey that can take you anywhere. Into a world of groundbreaking technology and renowned award-winning faculty. Professors who help you to impact the world. Whether you're on campus or at home, becoming your best starts with learning from the best.
Welcome to the Cronkite Sports Report. I'm Jacob Shanker. We begin with the Arizona Cardinals, who suffered their first loss of the season against the San Francisco 49ers, 16-15. After such a close game, there was a somber feeling in the locker room, especially from Marvin Harrison Jr., who had a tough game.
Everybody got a job to do. I'm not doing my job at a high enough level at the moment. I think I know what I'm capable of, and to go out there and not play to, nowhere near the best of my abilities. It's frustrating. It hurts the team, and I got to get better.
And the loss wasn't the only thing the Cardinals suffered Sunday, as they lost starting running back James Conner for the season with an ankle injury. Conner, who was off to a slower start this season, accounted for over half of the snaps at running back last year in 16 games and finished in the top 12 of the NFL for rushing yards last season. The Cardinals will look to not only replace his production, but his leadership as well. Another Arizona team is struggling after a loss. The Mercury will look to rebound in Game 2 in Minnesota after dropping Game 1 against the Lynx. The Mercury took a 47-40 lead in the first half, with all 5 starters scoring in the first quarter. AT kept up her recent play with another near triple-double, and Kalia Copper's 22 points is her highest output this postseason. But the playoff atmosphere in Minnesota came alive in the second half, holding Phoenix to only 22 points, coming back to beat the Mercury 82-69. While the Mercury do not have home court advantage in their best-of-5 series against the top-seeded Lynx, they will have to rely on the X factor when they are at PHX Arena. And of course, they have the star play of Alyssa Thomas. As Cronkite News reporter Alex Medina reminds us, both were on display last Friday in their finale against the Liberty.
PHX Arena was a packed house on Friday night. Thousands of fans, 2 teams, and the season on the line. The X Factor helping their team to victory.
It fuels the fire. It's just so loud, up, down, they cheer us on, and they keep it going. So whenever we would feel like something isn't going right, like they're just cheering us on.
But everything was going right for Alyssa Thomas, who recorded the first ever 20-point triple-double in WNBA postseason history, and the 5th triple-double of her playoff career.
I mean, this is just what she does, right? She impacts the game in so many different ways. She cares about one thing, and that's winning.
Not only are the fans always loud inside of the arena, but they advocate for Alyssa Thomas to be named as MVP. Thomas, who is now facing another MVP candidate in Nafisa Collier, will have to continue to work both ends of the floor.
At this point in the season, you have to defend to win ball games. It takes a lot of energy to go out there and guard somebody for 40 minutes and then go on the other end and play offense. But it's something we've been doing all year, something we've conditioned our body to. So, I mean, just got to continue to do it when it comes playoff time.
But with the X Factor showing the team salutation throughout the season, it makes it a little bit easier for them as a whole.
Everyone is just so in it and so invested that it just makes the game a lot more fun, and you want to give 100% every time you have a Mercury jersey on.
And fans will have more to cheer on as the Mercury play in the WNBA semifinals for the first time since 2021. In Phoenix, Alexandra Medina, Cronkite News.
And while fans had hoped AT would walk away with the MVP trophy, she ended up finishing third behind Las Vegas Aces A'ja Wilson, who won the award for the 4th time in her career, and Minnesota's Nafisa Collier, who finished second. While the D-backs may not have an MVP candidate this season, there's still one door they're knocking on, and that is the last wildcard spot. Arizona continued to keep pace in the race with a big win on Sunday. By the time the second inning was over, the Diamondbacks were already up 6-0, thanks to Ketel Marte opening up the scoring and Corbin Carroll following suit with a home run. Arizona would cruise to a 9-2 win and leave with something to celebrate, besides the wildcard spot on everyone's mind. Corbin Carroll became the first Diamondback ever to hit 30 home runs and steal 30 bases in the same season. And I wasn't kidding about that playoff spot, as we see the Diamondbacks, Mets, and Reds are all fighting for it. The Mets have had a losing month but are still in the lead. But with the Diamondbacks and Reds both playing their best baseball yet, this race is going to need every game left to see whose ticket is getting punched. The Sun Devils are only in week 5 of their long season, but the hunt for the playoffs seems to be as intense as the D-backs, and it doesn't help when a road win comes down to the last play. After a defensive battle in the first half, both offenses picked up in the fourth quarter as Sam Levitt would find Jordan Tyson for the touchdown and the 2-point conversion to take a lead late. The Bears fought back to tie it before Jesus Gomez took the field goal and kicked a game-winning field goal. The team will look to cut down on penalties Friday, yet Coach Dillingham took some positives from them as well.
There's some penalties you can't live with, but other penalties, if we're getting penalties attacking and playing the game like in an aggressive mindset in terms of blocking, I'm cool. But as long as we're not doing it recklessly, but I want to see violence and passion and aggressiveness. Like that's what football is. I say over and over again, move people backwards, you win games. Both sides of the ball.
The Sun Devils will have to get over the heroics pretty quickly, though, as they keep the Arizona versus Texas battle alive and prepare for a home contest against TCU on Friday. And now we welcome you once again to another round of Weekend Wows, where we take a look at some of the moments that wowed us the most this weekend. And we got a lot in store for you as we begin with ASU kicker Jesus Gomez, who secured the Sun Devils' first conference win with this walk-off 43-yard field goal. This kick wowed more than just fans, as Gomez took home Co-Big 12 Special Teams Player of the Week. And from one buzzer beater to another, the NAU Lumberjacks had a wow moment of their own at the end of the first half as quarterback Ty Pennington launched a Hail Mary touchdown pass. Pennington also earned Big Sky Offensive Player of the Week after leading the Jackals to a 31-23 win. And finally, Cardinals fans everywhere were saying wow, as their heads dropped into their hands with former number 4 overall pick Marvin Harrison Jr., who had dropped a wide open pass deep down the field, leaving many to question what could have been after the Cardinals lost during a close game 16-15. That's it for tonight's Cronkite Sports Report. I'm Jacob Schenker. Make sure to tune in next week for more Weekend Wows. Now back to Max and Macy at the desk.
Thanks, Jacob. Great stuff. Coming up next, NASA holds their own NFL-like draft, but for astronauts.
That's right. The organization selected their 2025 class of astronaut candidates.
Find out which future space explorers made the cut after the break.
As a teacher, you just want to reach people. You want to make a difference. You want to help them. I have an opportunity to do something I never imagined I would be able to do. Go out and build the best biology class the world has ever seen. When you go into Dreamscape Learn, you put on a set of goggles and you can go anywhere. You can be anyone and do anything. The thing about Arizona State University is they're always thinking about what's next. We can create virtual reality experiences so that you can learn by exploring in a virtual world the way that scientists explore in the real world. And kids can feel that. All these emotions are what help the brain encode information. When I see a student come out of VR, the look on their face is nothing like I've ever seen when I finish a lecture. They look so happy to be there. In that moment, you know that you've reached them.
Welcome back. President Donald Trump signed an executive order on Friday that would impose a $100,000 application fee for H-1B visas.
Yeah, it's an effort to curb overuse of the program, which lets U.S. employers hire highly skilled foreign workers.
White House officials claim abuse of the H-1B pathway has displaced U.S. workers. The move also marks the latest in a series of efforts from the administration to crack down on immigration.
And NASA has just chosen 10 people who the organization hopes will be the first U.S. astronauts to return to the moon in over 50 years. NASA selected 6 women and 4 men for this year's inductee group to the organization's astronaut corps. This small group was chosen out of 8,000 applicants. This comes as the U.S. hopes to return to the moon before China and finally make an expedition to Mars. These new members would be eligible for both missions.
That's it for tonight's edition of Cronkite News. I'm Max Williams.
And I'm Macy Markham. Thank you for joining us.
And to see top Arizona stories anytime, log on to cronkitenews.acpbs.org.